Let's hear it for Billy Boy, Dominic, Monaghan, and Elijah. We're going to take these off with a big selfie with the audience, if you don't mind. Or not a selfie, a real photo. So keep your face all amazing photographer there. Everybody stand up in the background to show your love for these three gentlemen as they face our photographer there. Keep it going, bro. Let's keep that applause going. Let's hear it. First of all, we appreciate you coming and sharing your talents with us and being here. Yeah, give it up for everybody. But you also get together, Elijah, we know you're a foodie, and we all benefit from the prowess of food that you have there, Elijah. We're in one of the greatest food cities in the United States, if not the world. Yeah. Do you have any food plans? Have you tried some of the local food? Yeah.
I went out for dinner last night, but we've been way late. These two arrived very late from Halifax. They're up in Halifax doing Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Yes.
They're
Sing it slowly.
and they'll also be in Toronto after that, all in March. And so they got in too late for us to have dinner, and then tonight they've also got a really, really flight the next morning. So
I know. Got to get back to rehearsals. We're getting back to 4 a.m. There's a hobbit missing as well, you might have
right.
Yeah, let's give.
This is our seat for Sean.
Yeah, let's give it up for Sean Aston, everybody.
And Sean is genuinely at home with the flu. He's been in bed for a few days.
I had to actually get out of bed there. He's just texted us. He said he's got very, very violent diarrhea.
Oh.
He said he's coming out of both ends.
Wow.
Yeah, he says it's all.
No, it came out of the nose. It's amazing.
Billy, you have a short time here this time around, but have you been to New Orleans before? Have you been able to sample the Cajun food around here?
Yeah, I was lucky enough one year with Elijah to be the king of Orpheus. Yes, Elijah was the king of Bacchus, and my God, kissed some women that night. Wow.
We talked about Mardi Gras. It's also just recently New Year's, the holidays. We asked a lot of fun questions of our celebrities, at this convention. Just how were your holidays? What are some traditions you had? How was your New Year? Really, what did you kick us off?
I had COVID.
Oh.
For the week up to, so I was just in a bedroom myself, and my thoughts. I never want to be left like that ever again. But I got out in time for Christmas Eve, and then we had a lovely Christmas dinner, and I started playing golf. It's a Scottish game if you haven't heard of it. They give you a bag of sticks, and then you take a ball and you walk around for like 18 hours. But it's kind of good fun, so I had a few games of golf, and just hung out with the family. It was really nice.
It's very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dominic, how was your holiday?
I went to Costa Rica looking for snakes.
Oh.
Slightly different Christmas than normal. Ended up finding quite a lot of snakes. Found the eyelash viper, highly venomous snake. Found 2 of them. Bright yellow.
I showed my son.
Yeah, very cool. Ton of 3-toed sloths, some cool spiders, jumped in the ocean. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
No Christmas dinner, but that's okay because I had Thanksgiving dinner a month before, and that's basically Christmas dinner just a month.
Sorry.
It was very similar.
2 seconds every time. Elijah?
Went to Big Bear, the family. Big Bear, California. It's, if you live, or if you've ever been to Southern California, it's the place that you can get the snow and cold weather. Whereas Los Angeles can be like 70 degrees.
For sure.
It'll be actually cold up there. So we went and stayed up there for 4 days just to kind of soak up the cold. It snowed the day we left, but it was amazing. So we woke up to snow, so our kids got to see the snow. It was really magical.
Awesome.
And then, yeah, spent Christmas at home with our kids, and New Year's as well, and a couple people over, very memorable. It was awesome.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we're very excited to share with you tonight, fans, that we don't normally do this. We will be taking some live Q&A from the audience. Gentlemen, everybody, big round of everybody. Let's hear it. And so, we've got 2 microphones in either aisle. We're not going to be able to get to every question, but we want to get to as many as we can. So if you want to line up, please be courteous of your neighbors. You're not going to be able to kneel down or scrunch down so you don't block them. We're going to go one at a time. Please keep it to a question, right? No requests for recorded messages or autographs or gifts. Just a question for an entire cast, and we'll have a blast. So, are we all ready for some fan questions?
Ready?
Let's get to it. All right, so here, please tell us your first name and your question.
I'm Caitlin, and my question was, this would be you and not your scale double. What was the most difficult shot to make the hobbits seem shorter than all the rest of them?
I think on our knees, I guess, right? We
Yeah.
actually did do a little bit of walking on our knees on stage.
Yeah, they did a lot of very technical things at first, green screens and puppets, even big puppets, to make us look smaller. But as time went on in the filming, we spent a lot of time just walking on our knees. So like the scene where Dom and I, after the Ents have invaded Isengard, and it's flooded before we find all the food and the pipeweed in the room. We were on our knees in a pool, just like a swimming pool that they built in a car park. And I remember because when Gandalf and everyone arrives and finds us there, they're all on their horses in this pool. And my sister was visiting from Scotland. And I thought, oh, this is great. She gets to see this scene with Gandalf and Legolas and Merry and everyone. And so we're doing this scene for a couple of hours with the horses and me and Dom. We're in our knees, so we're up to there in the water. And I came out and I said to my sister, what do you think? It's pretty amazing, huh, all this? And she said, yeah. I said, but you know those horses, they're all pissing and shitting in that pool. And you and Dom are up to them. I said, I never thought of that.
It's about the sacrifices that you make.
Exactly.
Thank you. Elijah, you famously, you talked about the knee scenes. So on the knee scenes, though, you probably didn't have to have the feet. Is that right? I know there were a lot of shots without the feet and with the feet.
Yes.
We preferred the shots without the feet. Why? What was with the feet?
Well, I mean, look, the feet required probably an extra hour and a half to our day, which meant that we'd be called in earlier. So it was an hour and a half less sleep that we would get. And it required us standing up, at 4:30 or 5 in the morning as they applied these latex rubber feet. So it was always better if they didn't show the feet. And it was actually Sean was very good at sort of predicting when our feet would be filmed or not. And he'd look at our call time and go, oh, they're gonna put our feet on tomorrow. And he'd go to the first or second AD and say, look, you guys aren't gonna see our feet tomorrow. And be haggling. Mostly he lost. We would have to eat it and get up early in the morning. It was pretty common that they weren't photographed. But it was that kind of thing of like, just in case.
Yeah.
I have one just in case you didn't.
Yeah. So just brilliant filmmaking in general to show the different heights, which was back to the question. Yeah. And making Gandalf seem so large.
Well, my favorite stuff is the forced perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Gandalf and Frodo back in the kitchen at a table that was partially Hobbit size and partially regular size for me. And it was a motion controlled camera, so when the camera would move, the perspective would change as would the table would move.
For sure.
Absolutely incredible. And of course, Ian and I weren't looking at each other. We're looking at marks or tennis balls. But the effect was remarkable. It was amazing. And to see that in camera was just incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you for your question. Let's pop over here. Tell us your name and your question.
How's it going, guys? This is Sam. My question is about the behind the scenes. So I think for a lot of people here, the behind the scenes are kind of like a fun comfort watch. I think they're the best behind the scenes ever. I feel like it's kind of a lost art. But for me, it was kind of like a film school before film school. But you guys have a lot of fun skits that you guys would do. I guess what was your awareness during the whole shoot? It seems like there was always a camera around. And do you guys ever go back and watch them? I'm just wondering, were you ever aware of that happening and trying to play into that? What was that?
Yeah, but we had that lady Haley's there, right? Shooting all the stuff. I think when you have a little bit of time on your hands in between shots and more scenes, the three of us certainly would be thinking, can we come up with a skit? Can we think of something? Yeah, which we did a few times. And I think it became kind of known that if it was a bit of a downtime on set, there wasn't a huge amount going on that was interesting for the behind the scenes people, if they came to our trailers, there's a chance that we might do something. But we didn't really, I mean, certainly the little moments that I remember, there was a moment where someone kind of fake comes into one of our trailers and we're half naked measuring each other and it's like a doll in bed. And that was, we didn't really think of that.
It's giving a look of just shock and awe. Something doesn't know.
We basically just said to the behind the scenes lady, just go outside and knock on the door and we'll do something. We just messed about.
Yeah, the other fun, behind the scenes memories.
I've never seen it. I think I've seen little bits and pieces, but I've never sat down.
I've never sat down and watched it.
No.
You should watch it. It's great.
But to the degree that it became what it became, so I think you're absolutely right. Like, I do feel from what I've watched of them, it documents the filmmaking process better than anything I've seen. It's really quite extraordinary. And they were so, Peter and everyone were so giving with the sort of, pulling the veil to understand at every level how the films were made. And it's such a rich document, And I don't think we were aware of that. I think there was a sense that they were pulling all this sort of BTS material to be used for promotional stuff down the road. That's pretty standard. This is a pretty big film in the scale of things. And so we just sort of thought that'll go somewhere, but no sense of where it was going.
Yeah. Dominic, your on-screen chemistry, obviously, as Mary Pippin is so toxic, infectious. Like when we just watch you and we see you.
Did you say toxic?
They're not toxic.
Toxic?
No, that was not what I meant. Infectious. What did you bring from those like moments backstage, behind the scenes, into your performance? Did that help kind of identify the characters and their love for each other?
Yeah, well, I suppose that's the thing with acting is, if you don't get a lot of time, which you don't in a lot of movies, you turn up on Monday and you're filming on Wednesday, and you have to play, maybe two people that went to school together or have been married for 10 years. And it's always difficult because it's difficult to fake that chemistry.
Yeah.
So the good thing was all of us had sort of 5-6 weeks, whatever it was, where we were working every day on the script, learning how to sword fence, canoe, and then in the evenings we'd all go for dinner or we'd go for a game of pool.
Yeah.
And so Dom and I very quickly got to know that we kind of grew up the same way, we had the same sort of sense of humour. And so it's sort of accidental then what you bring in, but it's basically what you're doing is bringing in a real friendship, a real chemistry. And as the years go on, I think we've noticed that more and more, and that's why it feels like we're working together more and more over the last sort of 5 years, and he is loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen him so happy. And that's what we bring, like with Rosencrantz and Gilden's,
I was gonna say, yeah.
that we just started rehearsing last week.
Big concept.
We were talking to Ian McKellen about that play, and he said that one of the most difficult things is trying to get the friendship in the 4 weeks of rehearsal that you normally get for theatre. 2 weeks of that is trying to get the friendship.
Yeah.
Me and Dom already have the friendship,
That's awesome, yeah.
so we're working on the other stuff, which just makes it so much easier.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Can't wait to see that. All right, let's pop over here. Closer to your question.
Hey y'all, my name is Venus. My question is for all three of you. If you were to send me a song that was the most you, what song would it be?
Ooh, we all love music on this stage. Obviously, Billy was in a band for a long time. We shared a lot of music. Yeah, great band. We shared a lot of music with each other, and I would think between the three of us, our musical kind of eclectic taste is quite big. And I've always struggled in my life to think of one song that I love more than anything else. Because even if you think about, the Beatles or Radiohead, there's 70 or 80 songs there that are in conversation. But in the last 2 years, I would say, I've been listening consistently to On the Nature of Daylight by Max Richter. And I think if someone said you're on a desert island and you can only take one song with you, I think I would take that song. Now, of course, it's a different mood enhancer for different times, but I go to sleep to it, I wake up to it, I do work to it, I write to it. I love it. So,
Awesome.
there's my answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah. Pleasure. You're obviously a professional DJ as well, so well versed in music. Do you have a genre or that you like to stick to?
DJing?
Yeah.
No. DJing, anything that is danceable. And I think what's surprising is that so many genres of music have danceable songs. So there isn't necessarily a criteria, and there isn't a specific genre that I stick to. That being said, to answer your question, that is really hard. I know it comes to trying to, pick a song, and certainly a song that physically defines you is really hard. I don't know.
I'm Too Sexy by Rise and Fall.
Yeah.
We're in New Orleans. So rather than I'll punt the answer as a defining song for me, and I'll just reference a New Orleans song. Maybe Chicken Strut by the Meters.
Yeah. Love it.
Lovely show.
Love it. Billy?
RESPCT. Because that's all I want, just some respect.
I feel like our audience might have a favorite song, maybe called The Edge of Night from Return of the King. Thank you for that. Thank you for that performance as well.
Sorry?
The final song, Return of the King.
Yes.
Thank you for that performance as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I prefer the songs from Harry Potter.
Hey, those are stay with your question.
My name
Oh.
is Thomas.
Thomas, so that's
And it was brought up earlier. What is your favorite type of cooked potato? Boiled, mashed, or stuck in a stew?
Those are our only choices, yeah.
Yeah.
Can we move beyond those three choices?
Sure.
Yeah, makes it easier.
I like a dolphin Mars. So,
Very fancy.
potato cut horizontally, onions cut horizontally in a kind of oven dish with a little bit of cream, would you say?
Like a scallop?
Maybe some butter, some white wine.
What would you do if they were cut vertically and then laid horizontally?
And open up.
Deep thoughts.
I love French fries of all kinds. Like cut French fries that are basically just like chunky potatoes fries.
Freedom fries.
I love that. That's not. I also love like herb roasted, like oven roasted potatoes.
Yeah, I would go for a roast potato.
Oven roasted.
With gravy, lots of salt, nice fluffy inside but crispy on the outside.
Yeah, on the outside.
Covered in fat.
I feel like that's the right answer, everybody. All three of those.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Hey, close reading your question.
Hi there, my name is James, and as I'm sure most people in this room are aware, in the years since the movies have come out, the trilogy has given rise to a lot of online phenomenons, whether it's remixes like Taking the Hobbits to Isengard or stuff from interviews like the Will You Wear Wigs. I was
When will you wear wigs?
I was curious if there was any one particular remix or interview or something that you guys were surprised got as popular with the communities.
I don't know if I'm surprised, but I called it When Will You Wear Wigs interview The Killing Joke because it never stops being funny for me. I will be in the house and I will look that up. It is the funniest thing, not only that Tom has ever done, but that anyone has ever done. It is amazing and it's my favourite thing in the world.
Elijah, when did you realize, for those of you who know, there's a clip of Dom interviewing Elijah, but you didn't realize he was behind the screen pretending to be this, like, reporter.
He was via satellite. So
Oh.
I couldn't even see him.
Oh, wow, I wasn't even saying.
Yeah, they were all in Berlin doing the European press junket for the two towers, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And I was in New York prepping to post for Saturday Night Live. So they were like, you can be in New York and do that, but you still have to do a full day of press interview.
Right.
You're just going to do it via satellite. So what that entailed was being in front of a camera and then just having an earpiece and hearing all of the journalists rather than seeing them. So, endless foreign accent in my ear asking questions about the Lord of the Rings. Comes another one that didn't sound strange next to the other German interviewers or French or otherwise. It was a little eccentric, sure.
What did that sound like? Or, yeah, what was that sound?
It was, yeah, exactly, that's it. It was like 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning. After like an hour already into a date. So this Hans Jensen comes on. You know, the initial questions were sort of odd, but not that crazy.
Yeah,
And
just
just weirder and weirder. And I remember looking at my publicist, and she was like, "Do we cut it?" And I was like, "No. Something is afoot. This is amazing, you know." But I didn't know it was Dom. I just knew something was up, and I wanted to know what the fuck was going on.
Not someone's being a jackass.
But as soon as it came to the flipper question, did you know that Flipper had died in a car accident? I was like, oh, okay. These aren't legitimate questions. And then it was the joy of joys to hear that it was you. Was like, oh my god, it was a way to connect. And we were apart. And a big part of these film releases was that we were touring together and we were doing that as a fellowship. And so to not be with them was a shame.
I think it was my birthday as well. Yeah, I think it was.
It's amazing. That's my favorite. Do you have favorite memes or?
I like a lot of the memes and the gifs. I mean, some of them are a little raunchy and a little naughty, but I like a lot of the memes and gifs. Which is the one that is a still photo and it has text on? Is that a gif or a meme?
That's a kid.
Meme? Is that right? We all meme. So there's one where it's Frodo and Sam heading up Mordor, and it says, and then they're kind of looking a little bit chill, and it says, just one glass of wine, Mr. Frodo. And then underneath it, it's where Sean's got you on his back, and we're half dead. Yeah, 2 hours later. I like stuff like that. I saw him recently, and we sat down for probably a good hour, and because he didn't know about the memes, and I showed him some of the great classical, and he had no idea. I was like, oh Ian, you missed out on some great comedy. And he said, show me that, show me. So I sat down in front of his computer, and he was hooting.
My favorite is the one before you. You're all like beautiful, plaid, kind of like early 2000s leather jackets, and it's like the 2000s boy band. Yeah, that's 2000s boy
I
band.
think the best one I've heard from that is Backshire Boys.
Thank you so much for your question. Yeah. Hey, let's talk over here. Tell us your name and your question.
Hey, my name is Tyler. Thank you guys so much for being in New Orleans. Sad that Sean Astin's not here. Because he's not here, you guys want to give a shot at your best Sean Astin impression or Sam One's going to be impression of the other day?
Potatoes!
How about a memory? What's so nice about seeing Sean?
We've said this story so many times, but my favourite Sean moment during the film is where we were all, it's probably right, we were all at the top of a mountain and they had to bring us down because weather was coming in, but they could only bring us down halfway. And it was kind of a holding area halfway down the mountain, and then another helicopter would come, and myself, Lily and Elijah, and Sean were all there, and we were probably there for a good 45 minutes waiting, and we were just having fun, messing about. And Sean seemed to think that it was a good idea to start directing helicopters. And we reminded him that probably those helicopters were on walkie-talkies and radios. Sean wasn't having any of it, he was ignoring us.
I mean, literally, guys.
Crazy.
They're on comms like they are professionals.
Somebody was like, okay.
It's not Safety is of a great concern to Sean.
Yeah.
And he doesn't lightly put his own safety in the hands of others, easily.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why we love him. Another shout out to Sean Astin.
So one of my favorite memories is we had so much together, Sean. Because the two of them had so much together. Sean and I were endless days together. And at a certain point, when you're in your 10th month of shooting, you start to tire of catering.
Sure.
There's only so many new dishes, and it tends to just be a repetition after a while. So we would just start like, let's get sushi, can we have, and we would get these like chicken sandwiches that weren't particularly amazing, but it was just nice to have a chicken sandwiches.
Yeah.
So funny. That was our thing.
Love it. Thank you so much. Hey, let's pop over here.
Hi, my name is Gonzalez. Well, today we had an unexpected journey coming to you guys from Houston. Like, we had like a 6-hour drive over here. We got pulled over by a state trooper. We got a ticket.
Oh man!
Yeah, and she's really trying to come over here, so like that. Her name's Rachel, and they had her everyone. Well, I said to myself this year I was going to be more confident, less shy, and well, I didn't get to meet you guys at the photo op because we were super freaking late. We got here at 5:30, and I was going to ask, can I get up to you guys? That's it.
Unfortunately, we can't do it on stage.
And it was such a long statement as well. I was waiting for something.
I mean, that's the question.
Yeah. Thanks for asking. What makes it noise if you traveled outside of New Orleans just to see these three folks out there?
How about a big one?
I met a couple from Australia. Are you guys saying?
I'm not trying to ask, because I told you, I'm going to ask. If I get a fist bump or a bust, either one.
Yeah, we can.
That's like my dropping a ring immortal kind of thing. That was the journey for me.
Well, we
I didn't
appreciate
even
it.
get Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell, I got to either, I don't know, tomorrow, maybe in the morning, I can get in the morning or something.
Can we get security, please, for this guy?
They'll be over at their tables all day from, I think you guys are heading back, right? Yeah, other office. That's right, Gonzalez. Thanks, thank you for coming up. Hey, let's pop over here.
Hi, my name is Chloe. My question is about kind of the magic of movies. Every time I watch them, I see something new. And I'm wondering if maybe you filmed something a certain way, and then when you watched it back, it changed or surprised you or amazed you.
Well, one of the things that Billy said, which you guys might not see it immediately, but it's very cool with making artists feel small, is when we come into the Branson Pony in Brie, just as we're about to talk to Barley Bottom, whatever his name is, the landlord. Two people walk past us, and the artists kind of move backwards because these big humans are walking past, and then move back in. And those big humans were oversized, big animatronic people. So when you look at their hands that are just in camera, kind of slightly moving, that's all remote controlled by some Weta operative on camera. And it works really well. And then Pete just used it perfectly and then didn't use it again. So if you're ever watching Fellowship and you see us just getting into the Branson buggy, you see two people walking past us, that's not real people, that's normal people in massive giant suits from making themselves look bigger. So that's it.
The intention behind the big pictures was to use them more. And they ultimately found that that particular application was the only way that it was going to work, and they just found that it wasn't going to be as effective.
Yeah.
And I think also because they found tall Paul.
Right.
Because there was a guy then who was about 7 foot something, wasn't he? And he could dress up as any of the taller than Hobbit people.
Including Arwen.
Including Arwen.
No.
And Gandalf and Legolas. So they had big costumes made of all those characters. So if it was Mary standing next to Legolas, it would be Tall Paul in a Legolas costume. Or if it was me next to Arwen, it was Tall Paul.
That's awesome.
And even stuff like the Palantir, when Gandalf comes over, Tall Paul had really big hands. So compared to my face, you know what I mean? It made my face look like a button mushroom. Yeah. But so, like, I think things like that came in and just made things easier. But yeah, Donald's right, in the bar, they had these pictures which were amazing.
That's so cool.
And you guys, sorry to do another one with this stuff. I watched the trilogy for the first time in like 18 years over Thanksgiving, and I had not seen it in that time. And it's a great moment where the Fellowship is breaking, and I'm on hand, and Boromir tries to take the ring, and suddenly Aragorn kind of finds Frodo, and Frodo for a moment there thinks that Aragorn's coming to take the ring, and Frodo offers him the ring. Yeah, sword to protect you. And Aragorn comes over, and it looks like he might be tempted to take the ring, but instead he closes Frodo's hand and tells him, you know, I would have gone with you to the very fires of Mordor. But as he closes his hand, Frodo's hand, you hear the ring say, Aragorn, bless us. It's like whispered, Aragorn, bless us. That's super, it's like creepy.
So I looked it up and then watched that clip. And hey man, that is really disturbing. What is that?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your question.
Thanks.
Hey, we have about time for 2 more questions. Let's start here and then we'll end over here. Thanks.
So my name is Sarah, I'm a Frodo today. But my question is, what was your funniest memory from set?
This isn't from set, unfortunately, but it is, so it's not totally answering the question, but it did include the 3 of us that we worked together. We went to Japan to do one of the premieres, and in Japan they're very big on giving gifts. It's probably the place in the world where I've certainly received the most amount of gifts. Anyone who you see will give you a little keepsake, you know, even if it's just a little chocolate or just something, you know. And we were all going down this line signing something. Elijah must have been given something and must have been asked to open it in front of the person who gave them the gift, because that's kind of the way that it's done in Japan. It's a bit rude to just take a gift and not open it. And somehow Elijah opened a gift and got a little piece of the wrapping paper and the sellotape attached to his ear. And we then did a whole line of photos. And I didn't notice this halfway through. I said, Elijah, what's on your ear? He was like, what? And I said, look, and I pulled it up and showed it to him. He was like, where did that come from? I had a laughing fit. You know? I was like crying, laughing. And you can actually see photos of me on stage. And these two are just like posing and looking like movie stars. And I'm like, leaning up. That was the funniest moment for me with these two.
Billy, any fun memories?
There was so many. I mean, it's so difficult to say.
Yeah.
It's like saying to you, what's the funniest thing that happened in the last 4 years?
Yeah.
You know, it's so difficult because there's magical moments all the way through. So yeah, it's so hard to pick one.
Yeah.
there was a lot of laughs on set.
And we experienced it back to the behind the scenes footage. It was so great that we got to see that stuff, your interactions and that fun that you had while filming. Elijah, anything stick out? Anything stick out to you, memory-wise?
I mean, I sort of echo what Billy said in that there were so many that it's difficult to kind of like pick out one thing. There is, I believe it's online, there's a blooper reel. That is available, right?
Yes.
The blooper reel is a really good indication of the atmosphere of making. It was a really difficult series of movies to make, as you can imagine. And it took thousands of people's efforts to make it. And it was grueling work, but there was constant laughter and constant enjoyment and constant comedy. And honestly, a lot of that came from Peter. Peter was encouraged laughter and joviality, and amongst these two really brought that out in the two of them, and just encouraged it in general. And he's very funny, and his sense of humor is funny. I mean, there was a thing that he did with, it's great. I don't know if this is on the blooper reel, it might be, where it started to snow, and it was effing up our shoot on that particular day. It wasn't scheduled to snow, it wasn't supposed to. And so he does this video, like impromptu, where he's talking about this incredible snow machine that they brought in, and state-of-the-art, and there's this whole bit, just off the cuff, based on the scenario, like, fuck it. And that's who he was, and that just extended. There's a lot of camaraderie. He was a big fan.
That's awesome. Thank you. And shout out to Peter Jackson. Gosh, we haven't mentioned him yet. Obviously, All right, let's do this last one. All right, good question.
Hello, I'm Benjamin, son of Peter, and look, I love Lord of the Rings. I get chill ups just talking about how much I love them. But another thing that I'm obsessed with is Survivor. And Dom and Billy on the podcast had Jeff Probst.
Is that a second line? Sorry.
Yeah. They're ready to play.
So my question was, Billy, I believe, had never seen the season of Survivor when they interviewed him. And so I wanted to see if Billy actually had seen the season now, put him on the spot. And also, Dom, I think you were a super fan, so I want to know if you have a favorite season or favorite player of Survivor.
Yeah, so I have now seen a season, and it was the season when we interviewed him. I don't know if the seasons have names of that.
Just numbers.
Right, so I don't know the number. I'm going to guess it was 8.
Way off.
Right.
It's probably closer to, I think, probably 41 or 42.
But I did really enjoy it, and I will watch another.
40 seasons.
Yeah, there've been more than 40 seasons now. There's 2 a year. It's been going on for well over 20 years. It is my favourite TV show. Reality TV show. It's my favourite reality TV show. It's the only, I watched a little bit of The Amazing Race, but if I missed it, it's good. I think it was good. But
Have you seen Alone?
Oh, I like Alone. Yeah.
No, so good.
But I love the game within the game within the game in Survivor. It just gets better and better. Boston, Rob and I kind of chat and text her. That's kind of a bit of a thrill for me, you know? And Jeff Probst is a great guy. And most of the friends as well, so that's that.
What about the Great British Bake Off?
What if they were saying, would you rather do, this is a very fun question, rather the 4 of you do an episode of Alone, where it's the 4 of you out in the woods trying to survive, or British Bake Off, which would you pick?
British Bake Off.
Bake Off?
Yeah.
All right, would you watch an episode of British Bake Off with Frodo? Let's hear it one more time, world. Everybody travel from all parts of the world to Concord Walls to see these three. We appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for next week. We hope you have a fantastic day.
When it was, I watched like the first 10